Hello everyone. In my previous video, I've unboxed the cheapest Bluetooth mechanical keyboard with real RGB and hot swappable Outemu socket. Price? $27 US. In a sea of mechanical keyboards priced higher than that, let alone the Bluetooth ones. How did this keyboard do it? Were there significant corners cut to get it down to that price level? Or was it just very efficient in manufacturing and pressing down the cost? You can conclude for yourself in this review. I'll be giving my own thoughts as well, and stick around to the end for the sound test. The CXTech C61 looks like a plain 60% mechanical keyboard with ANSI layout.
It comes in 3 versions of switches: blue for clicky, red for linear, and brown for tactile.
For those that don't know the 60% layout, it's basically a small part of the full-size layout, removing the arrow keys, the macros, the numpad, and also the top rows F keys. This 60% layout gives you more space on your desk, especially if you have a small desk. It is also more ergonomical and natural for your hands and shoulders position.
The downside of 60% layout is that the other keys that you may want to use, such as the arrow keys and the F rows, become secondary functions, as you can see here on some of the keys. They can be toggled with the FN key with the adjacent secondary key that you want to activate.
And now we have that out of the way, let's go back to the keyboard. Starting from the top, the keycaps. The fonts on the legends look thin enough, not gamery, which is a plus in my book, at least. The secondary symbols on some of the keys aren't the best, but it gets the job done. The keycap is made of ABS, and it's double shot, so the legends are another piece of plastic that won't rub off. I can't say the same for the secondary symbols, which are printed on. The keycaps are kind of thin and sound a bit hollow, but that is to be expected. Some of the keycaps are rough around the edges. The good thing is, it's towards the back, and you won't really see it. And since the keyboard is not floating keys design, you won't really see it right away. The case itself, it looks pretty thin. It's made of plastic, but it's pretty much solid enough that it doesn't creak. And to the back, we see the USB-C on the right, and the switch to the left. There's pretty much no brand on the case, except on the bottom. It's just a sticker, so it's easy to peel off if you want a more minimal look to the case. And there are 4 rectangular rubber feet, which keeps it in place and not slide around the desk. There are no flip-up feet to angle it more, but I find that the angle for my typing is pretty much natural. And now let's open one keycap. Just like any mechanical keyboard, you will see the switch right away. You can see it's a brown switch, and as I pull it out, it says GTMX. Usually, budget mechanical keyboards use Outemu switches, and it's no different here actually, because GTMX is also manufactured by Outemu. As you can see here, I have an Outemu blue switch. It fits and functions just fine. Now let's get deeper. If we remove some of the keycaps here, it will reveal some of the screws. And yes, it is tray mounted. After removing the screws, we can lift up the plate. The plate itself seems like it's made of some sort of metal, presumably aluminum. But it's painted over for some uniformity, I guess. Lift up the plate slowly and carefully unplug the connector. As you can see, it's quite hollow and there's quite a bit of space. I may or may not fill the hollow parts with some foam. So check the sound test later to see if I do. The battery inside is quite big here, at 25 mAh. They say it can last up to 48 hours on a single charge. I can kind of vouch for it. I have used it for around 2 to 3 hours per day, and it easily lasts a week, with the RGB lights on. It does have battery management feature, which help it sips battery, so it turns off within a few minutes, and turns back on within seconds. In terms of functionality, the CXTech C61 does the basics it should be, but not much more than that. It's a mechanical keyboard with Bluetooth, RGB, and hot swappable, although Outemu switches only. Other than the scratchy and pinging switches, and the stabilizers that rattle like there's no tomorrow, I don't find any glaring issues in terms of its functionality. I didn't experience any weird issues, such as double inputs or weak Bluetooth connections. To use the Bluetooth feature, turn the switch to the right. There's no symbol to indicate which side is on or off, so you have to kind of memorize it. And then hold FN with Q, or FN with W, or FN with E. This shows the CXTech C61 can connect up to 3 devices at once. Then, check the device of your choice to see if the keyboard is detected. In my laptop and phone, it shows up as BT 5.0 KB, which indicates that this keyboard has Bluetooth 5.0. If your device doesn't support it, it will simply show up as BT 3.0 KB, which indicates it has Bluetooth 3.0. I would recommend to connect to the newer version of Bluetooth, if possible, for better connection and better input delay. Otherwise, choose Bluetooth 3.0. It should connect within a few seconds. Once you have the keyboard simultaneously connected to multiple devices, you can simply tap the same combinations to switch between devices. In my case, I've connected the Q with my laptop and W with my phone. You can also reset the pairing by holding the same key combinations until the light blinks, and then redo the same steps again to get it connected to another device of your choice. It also has onboard RGB modes that you can toggle and cycle through. Simply tap the FN and pipe key. Yeah, I had to Google the name of the key with a straight line. You have to cycle through the light modes to find the one that you like. This means if you missed it by one tap, you'd have to tap the same combinations until you find it. It's a little bit of a hassle, but I'm guessing it's not something you would do frequently, so I guess it's okay. For some of the light modes that don't cycle through colors, you can tap FN and space, and cycle through the preset colors on the board. You can also set the brightness. And for some of the light modes, you can change the animation speed. Keep in mind there are only 3 levels of brightness and animation speed. The dimmest light setting is not actually very dim, and the brightest light setting is not particularly bright, but for indoor usage, you won't have a problem at all. To maximize the functions and features of the keyboard, you can use the software to set per key RGB lights with the colors of your choice. But keep in mind that the white color configured in the software doesn't actually look white on the keyboard itself. There's a little tint of red on the white. It's an easy adjustment. Just lower the red until you get to the preferred shade of white, if there's even such a thing. This can be applied to other colors as well. You can also set the macros with the input and output of your choice. You can also reset the bindings per key. This is especially handy if you're into custom layouts, such as Workman or Colmac. There's a little backstory to this software. I initially tried to search for any information on this CXTech C61 online. The results were very minimal. Even AliExpress doesn't have it. Taobao actually has this specific keyboard, but it's all in Mandarin, and translating the whole page doesn't really help me. It's a good thing that the local company here rebranded this exact keyboard. Also have the software translated and rebranded accordingly, so I downloaded that and installed it without any problem. It detected this keyboard and all the software feature works. So, to round it up, the CXTech C61 is good for the price, functional Bluetooth feature, real per key RGB that you can set through the software with macros and key bindings, hot swappable, although only Outemu socket compatible switches, double shot ABS keycaps, though kind of thin, large battery capacity with a long operation time. And for the bad, it's kind of nitpicking. The switches are scratchy and pings. The stabilizers rattle. The case is kind of thin and it's hollow. So if you couldn't conclude by this review, I like it, considering its price. It may be hard to find at the time this review was uploaded. Don't know how it will be in the future. I hope it will be better, and even more budget keyboards like this showing up. But if this CXTech C61 is readily available within your access and within the $30 price, I'd say definitely go for it. It serves as a good baseboard for customization and slowly sink deep in the quicksand of the mechanical keyboard world. If you're not into the whole mechanical keyboard hobby, I still think it's really worth it because it's functional and does all the basics with the extra bells and whistles of RGB and hot swappable switches if you want to take that path later down the road. There you have it. I will close this with a sound test, but I have to apologize beforehand. I did some modding to the stabilizers, so I didn't get to record it fully stock. The switches, however, are untouched, so enjoy that with its full glory. So please show your support with a like or dislike on this video. Please also consider subscribing and turning on the notifications so you won't miss my future videos. And also comment down below on what I should do to this keyboard, or if you have any other ideas for my next videos. See you in the next one.